Were you in the space, McCrae, just out of interest when we were talking what is radical?
Yeah,
Isn't that interesting
I
how it's
was
gone back
just
full
maybe.
circle? Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, it does mention LGBTQ plus etc. in the unhealthy cream.
What? Oh, flip. What was McCrae just saying? It reminded me of something that you said earlier. Don't tell me everything she was just saying because she says so much. I was sat
Isn't
there
she
thinking.
fascinating? Honestly,
I was thinking, McCrae should be a library. She should just be a
yeah,
library.
McCrae, the McCrae Library. I mean, that's it. Yeah,
Yeah,
what a wise woman.
but it was something to do with because you said to McCrae, "Oh, you've brought us back round to the start where we were talking about bad femmes." Oh, that's right. And then McCrae said, "They're not, they're not going to get anywhere with the way that they're going on, and they're not going to be able to help with this transgenderism." But one of the things I've noticed listening to Twitter radfems is that one of their main concerns, so if they've got three priorities in, being anti-Kelly J, staying on the left and whatever the fuck else, right, when it comes to talking about this gender ideology, they're more concerned with seeming homophobic. I've heard it said, so many times, oh, well, we don't want to seem homophobic, when they're talking about, oh, we don't want to hang out with the GCs, or let them in here or whatever. And, they get into their faux intellectual conversations and, they are like, oh, well, we can't say that because that could come across as homophobic. We can't do this because it could affect gay blokes, basically. It just reminded me because of what you said about when you were afraid to bring up, to say something about something that's not even anything to do with LGBT, but you were afraid of, and that's holding them back, or that's more of a concern to them with their separatist ways than protecting women and children. Pissing me off.
Yeah, no,
Sorry.
it's
been pissing me off ever since I got into this game, really, that people won't say anything in case it sounds homophobic. So basically, they're putting gay men above my children in levels of importance. Sorry, I'm not even irate. I'm just refreshed.
Yeah, but bring it on. The radical feminists, what you're saying is, if I got this right, they don't want to separate the tea from... No, hang on. They do want to separate the tea, but they don't want to upset the gays. But then surely that...
They're not really that bothered because they're more bothered about, LGB than they are about women and children.
Then how can that... Then that's a total contradiction to being a feminist, in my understanding.
I know, but Andrea Dawkins was a radical lesbian. So, do you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying about these, where they get their actual views from.
I almost want to put what is a radical
They're bloody bonkers.
in the heading, but I daren't.
Oh, fucking hell. We'll be here for hours because they'll all come in.
Sorry, domestic. Yeah, that's really interesting, isn't it? So they're more worried about offending the gays than protecting women and children. And if that's a rad femme, then take me off the turf list because I'm not a rad femme. Not by a long shot. A long shot. I think there's many women actually under the turf umbrella that actually aren't turfs at all. In fact, who came up with turfs?
See, exactly.
Who came up with turfs?
Exactly.
What?
We just need an umbrella.
Yeah. The trans people came up with turf.
So it was a derogatory term.
I think.
Yeah, it was their term, but we're going to take everything back. It's not theirs.
Oh, the same as the dinosaur term. Oh, the dinosaur.
Well, that was an MP. That was a bloody UK MP came up with that.
Oh. But again, in a derogatory way.
Yeah.
So why are we adopting all these derogatory terms and turning them on in a way of sort of turning them round as if to say, oh, but bring it on, we love that.
Because we're in the middle of a psyop, GB. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think clearly.
That's why we're even tied up with rad femmes and taking on wacky terms like turf and stuff because...
But the rad femmes are doing so much damage.
It's not just the rad femmes, it's people on both sides. I can't even say both sides because it's more like there are three lots or even four, to be honest, because I know there's a troop of blokes who are just covert.
Or
You
your
know, they're
TRA.
not dressed up as
Am I
trans or
right? Your
anything.
TRAs, your TERFs, your AdFems, and your...
Well, see, I don't use that term TRAs because I just think weirdos. Like all of them are the same thing.
Weirdos.
Right,
No,
from
they're all
henceforth,
they're all the
they're
same.
weirdos.
Just because one of them isn't wearing the outfits, and that, you know, so they're not saying that they're trans. They're doing the same things behind closed doors. They're watching the same tranny porn. That, you know, why else would anybody be running with trans unless they're into that kind of thing? Do you know what I mean? So I don't use TRAs. They're all transgenders to me, and that's just an umbrella term for, you know,
I like that.
various
Yeah, I'm
peeps.
going to not use that
So,
anymore.
but the thing is, you've got lesbian and gay people. You've got women who aren't lesbian. For some reason, the lesbians keep hanging around. Well, I know why. They just keep hanging around with gay blokes. So they get their head in a muddle because obviously blokes are blokes, no matter if they're gay or straight, right? They're always like a little bit more sympathetic to wacky stuff, yeah? So they keep a tight grip, as tight a grip as they can on lesbians because, you know, it's the lesbians that come there with the rest of us with women. And that's how the blokes keep getting over here, influencing and stopping our progress. But so that's three groups, but blokes keep trying, you know, using what they can to grab hold of. So you've got some blokes can grab women because they're like, you know, you don't want to be over there with them because we're black men and they discriminate against us, and you're black, so you should be on our side. And then you've got homosexuals who are like, lesbians, don't leave us because we're gay, so you should be on our side. Then you've got religious people, you know, husband and wife type, you know, they're like, oh, those lot of sinners, don't go over there, missus. We're married, you should be on my side. And do you know what I mean? So, and some of those women filter in, yeah, and bring their fucking blokes ideals with. Why am I getting angry?
Because you're
I'm not stoned. I'm
passionate.
not stoned
Because
today.
you're passionate.
Sorry, it's
No,
just
you're
my.
passionate.
No, this is how I speak when I'm not stoned. I'm so sorry.
Don't
This is why
apologise.
nobody comes to visit me.
It's
But
fascinating. Don't apologise. I'm not, honestly, just...
yeah,
Yeah, I'm
no, I'm not
loving
angry
it.
with
I'm
you
loving
guys.
it. It's exactly how I
Yeah.
talk. Keep going.
Yeah, but I don't usually talk this way to strangers. It's just in my house. You know, when I just it escalates, doesn't it? The pitch and but yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, what I'm trying to get at is when I say we're in a psyop, I'm telling you now, 50% of the people who are like, we're TERFs, we're GCs, they're not. They're here to confuse and turn people's heads, just create confusion and distractions. So yeah, it's just ridiculous. The whole fight is ridiculous because if you come on here and you're like, oh yeah, feminists, yeah, great, and then you actually listen to them, you know, in one of Kylie's spaces, they're literally TRAs. You know, they're there
Weirdo.
for boosting the transes. Yeah, they they're literally there to protect transgenders from women like me. Yeah, who would just say no.
Why?
And then some of them are in our spaces. Yeah, some of them are in here with maybe not this one right now. I haven't got my eye on everybody. Some characters just stand out to you sometimes,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, and they're in here as well, you know, dripping along with their, oh, you know, my, like that bloody EJ, my trans twin or whatever. And, you know, like, so we've got quite a few women in spaces who's, like Taylor, whose daughter was captured and is now back to normal, apparently. Loads of women, like, come to the spaces because they've got a child who thinks that they're a trans and they're worried about the child. And do you know what I mean? They want all this crap to stop. But then there are others, women, who've got a so-called trans child, nephew, niece or whatever, and they're absolutely loving it. And when they speak about it, it's just let go. It's just like, oh yeah, lovely, I
But I
hope they
think
get better
they're
soon.
dangerous. They are.
Exactly, they're really fucking dangerous, but they're right here with us. I'm saying that I don't mean any of the people in this particular space right now. Sorry, guys. You guys could be one of them, but who knows? But we've heard them. We've heard them a lot. Oh gosh, there's a new spammer in town, and Lady Laments, not as funny as the other one, the other listener, but they had a space on. I can't remember whose space it was. I'll have to go back on the page, but two women started talking about their trans child experience. It must have been one of Kylie's spaces, because it was just completely like, oh yeah, it was just normal to the yeah. This whole GC thing, we can't get too upset. Oh, and that's the other thing. Sorry, Tal, I've just got to say this one quickly, and then I've got to get back on the PC. But GC, gender critical. This is how you know it's a psyop, right? Because gender is something that's layered over sex, right? Sex stereotypes. Stereotypes come from somewhere, okay? Oh, women are hysterical as a stereotype, yeah? Stereotypes come from somewhere. Many women, once a month, do become hysterical, including myself, okay? I'll just stay indoors. It's just hormones. Right, so that's a stereotype that comes from somewhere. Oh, men are bullish. Well, of course they are. They need to be able to, to fucking chase buffalo, whatever the fuck it is. They do to even chase women, because it's not like we're just going to be going out chasing them. So, to keep the human race going, they have to be a bit forward. Otherwise, they'd literally never get any action if they left it all down to us. And just various things, right? So gender critical, it's ridiculous. What we want to be is transgender critical. And here's the other thing, right? Sorry, I know some of you guys are listening go, fuck you, domestic.
No, I'm agreeing. I'm sitting like a nodding.
No, I know you're not.
Nodding dog. I'm just going, yep.
People who've heard me before, they're like, knew it, knew you hadn't changed, knew you hadn't changed. But no, where was I going with this? Oh, GC, gender critical, yeah. So basically, this is what you hear from the GCs, the ones with the loudest voices who tell you what this movement is and what your place in it is and what you want, okay, what you want to achieve and why you're doing this, right? They tell you all of this, okay? Because these aren't my words, right? They're like, oh, if you could just accept people being a bit more gender non-conforming, this wouldn't be happening. They're only doing all of this because you don't want blokes to wear eyeshadow and mini skirts.